being in the wilderness, having the time and the space to create relationship, and having a group small enough that we can actually create relationship with all of them is really what makes Camp Bob unique. My name is Andrea. My role at camp is Executive Director of Program. Executive Director of Program is responsible for all things programming for summer, for year-round, for just providing general oversight and direction for the programs that we offer at Camp Bob, and then providing direction and leadership to our program director as well. I have been in full-time camp ministry since 2010 when I started at Stillwood. I have been involved in camp ministry since probably before my first birthday, and I was first as a family camper and then as an overnight camper when I was 7 years old. So many years of camp involvement. Stephen and I came to Camp Bob in 2020, so this August will be 3 years for us here. We exist in a really neat place where we're able to minister to people that otherwise may not feel comfortable within churches. We are able to provide leadership training to people from our own churches. We are able to witness Jesus at work in a way that we don't necessarily see in other places of the world. Camp is its own missions field, and I think just like people that go overseas to do missions and to do different things, we at camp really have an opportunity to encounter Jesus in a way that we don't within the city and within the confines of our normal day-to-day life. And I think the one thing that's really notable about Camp Bob, and that Stephen and I noticed when we first came here to visit before we had even applied to or accepted a job from here, is just the unique location, the unique place that God has placed Camp Bob in. Being able to be on the North Island, to be in our own little secluded forest with our own special piece of lake here. And I think there's something too to the smaller camp experience. Our last camp was 200 and some odd staff a week and 300 and some odd campers a week, and that was a beautiful and a fun and a chaotic thing. But I think the thing about Camp Bob is that we are able to be almost like a family. It was at camp, I think, that God really solidified my call into ministry and my desire to serve Him in my vocation. It was also at camp that Stephen and I got engaged. And so it's hard to pick just one camp memory, but I would say that it's been like a very fundamental place for me. Most of my big life decisions have been made at camp or have been spoken to me by God at camps. A tagline for Camp Bob, I think I would say meeting God outside the ordinary. I think there's something, maybe I don't need to explain it at all.